Greetings, this is Grandmaster Amon Ra. First, we had a problem with the network. Let's see if it's going to correct. But from what I'm seeing, the line is just weak at this time. So we may get off and on issues. It's not anything I'm really doing. It's the network in itself that is the problem. So overall, coming from far here in Kenya, uh, we may have to get those issues of stalling lines. So I want to get guys to come into the chat. Once again, I'm Grandmaster Amon Ra. For those of you who have just not met me, I have been around for many, many years. Talking about Africa is a solution to 99% of Black people's problems in the U.S. And it's the only problem that we really have is the issue of white people don't want us to leave America. She doesn't really want anyone to leave. See, America has a immigration crisis just like Europe has. And the problem is that an economy needs people to be there and buying and working in order for it to thrive. And so you have to have a continuous influx of people that want to work. And if you get seasoned veteran people in the country, what you have is a situation where they know how to go about their daily lives, buying and purchasing very little. And so you need now an influx of more people that's going to go out and buy new items and eat at different places and things like that. That keeps the economies going, business in different areas. And it only makes sense for a government to allow immigrants in. Like in the case of Italy and in Europe, they have a really bad problem because the population is aging and dying. The whites are not having children, and then the economy can't sustain itself. So what do? Well, you let all these Black migrants that are looking for work to come into the country, and they come in and they generally boost the economy, keep it going, because they also have to eat. They also want to walk around and enjoy their life in that country as best they can, and they also want to make money. So this is what really keeps Europe going. It's this exchange rate that has Black migrants coming out on the bus, coming out on these small ships and coming over into Italy, because the money is doubled. Now, this is a crime, really. This is one of the most worst economic crimes ever brought up by man, where here Africa has all the resources, and yet the European money and the American money is like 10 times more valuable. Why? If we have all the resources in Africa, why is our money, your money, 10 times stronger than mine? Like the United States, the United States used to have a strong coal industry, but the coal is now far down under the ground. They don't have that kind of industry. Most of the coal mines are closed in the U.S. What kind of business do they do? Well, the main business that they do to generate so-called income in America, what they're trying to tell us is that it's the information hub now. So America now is an information hub. Google, what, and that's where all the money value. Like America is the only one that got access to information. And so you believe okay, if you want information, you go to America, and Google is like the 90% of that is Google. What in the world are we really talking about here? You selling information? Because there's no more industry, there's no more coal. I don't know what this issue about gas, fracking gas costs more to frack it than it does to make a profit. you can't make a profit because you're spending all your money on fracking. So it's like, um, you know, there is no value in the country. You can't look up and say information from Google is that's what people come to America is for, and that's the value of it. No, there's something that we really don't touch here. How is it that 1 unit of African currency, I mean, 1 unit of a U.S. currency is worth 10 times the amount of African currency? And what the whole point of it is that back in the 60s when they started doing all of this in the 50s, they didn't really think about black people wanting to go to Africa from America. But today, now we're realizing that we want to go to Africa, and now you see you also take advantage of that exchange rate, and you can see what the whole thing is all about. Don't look at TV and see migrant workers or go see Africans coming into your country, rushing there, thinking like they coming because they hate their land. They don't hate their land. They love Africa. It's just that the money temptation is just too tight. If they can come into America and get a whole exchange rate, they could triple their money going back to America. So why not? I'm gonna sweep floors for $35 an hour. Yeah, hell yeah. You see, $35 an hour. I just had to sweep some floors. This is what the African concept of being in America is all about, because the exchange rate makes the money more valuable. And we need to really look at that. But now, Boyce Lydell has decided that he's going to come to Ghana. I just saw this on the news. It was just like 8 hours ago. He's on a plane right now going to Ghana and going to Africa for the first time. Talking about he's never been to Ghana. If you ain't been to Ghana, then probably you ain't never really been to Africa. But what he's going to find out is that as far as business is concerned in Ghana, he's going to say he got a long, long way to go. And I have sent him a comment telling him that's a good step, but your best bet is to come to Kenya. And I'm sure he's aware of that. That when he goes to Ghana, he look around and say, okay, this is it. Too many black people walking around Accra with no jobs. Yeah, but it ain't like that in Kenya. Black people in Kenya, they walking around, they lost. They can't figure out where they can't. When you're in a bustling, hustling economy, it really takes time for you to kind of look and see how things are working out. And when you walk out on the street of Nairobi, you just start seeing people rushing everywhere. Some of them running. Imagine Africans running and hustling, going to work and everything. So, I need my glasses for this. And I think I left my glasses. Oh, no, I didn't. Hustling and bustling. This is a mini laptop. So you see, the writing is very small. That's why you see me with my glasses. The other laptop is bigger. I don't need glasses for that one. But this one, writing is too small. My 2 cents. Wow, that was distressing. Got your back now. Thank you. Clarence, thank you guys for coming back, man. Thank you for hanging in there with me when we go through these issues. Some different laptops work better, and then sometimes the line just hangs. And I think the line is going to hang again, but we'll just go for a short time here. I didn't come up with notes. This is just an impromptu video about a couple of things that you guys have been talking to me about, and then one of them is Boyce Lydell was getting into Africa, and I'm like, somebody had mentioned it. I was like, until I saw the video myself, and then I just saw the video. So really what I want to tell you guys out there is that Africa is the only solution. If you can get somebody like Boyce Lydell to get his black ass on a plane and come over to Africa, I don't know what the hell he gonna think he gonna see, because he ain't had no experience here yet. So I sound like he's just on the plane, like he's going on by himself, which would have to do, because half his followers is all Black American. Black Americans got to be doing this. Black Americans got to do that. After 10 years of that goddamn trying to get blacks to rally up, he comes to realize that, shit, let me go to Africa and see what's going on there, because black people in America are not capable of coming together when you have a system that is fighting against you. This is all about the black man. I'm not even talking about the black woman. She can follow along later. But for us as black men in America, we built this place, as it's very true. And we are constantly having to survive the nonsense and the insults of trying to show these fools that we are on their side. You know, by fools I mean white people. Now, I'm not talking about your white friend or your white boss. I'm not talking about him, but I'm talking about in general. If white people have a problem with us in general, then it's going to affect you. Whether you got a nice friend or whether you're married to a white person or not, it doesn't really matter. And this is Amon Ra's point of view. A lot of people don't have different type of point of view. When you talk about whites, they got to run to the exit. But it's the fact of the matter is, whether they white or whether they green, the U.S. system, somebody's out there really doing us in. Now, I'm seeing these media news shows, which I'm now doing some new research on, and I'm like, how can you guys be fooled? You're in America, you see, like, okay, you're saying that America's against black men, this and that, but then at the end of the day, you go on, the news is showing you, well, 2 white policemen were arrested for racial slurs. We can't tell you what the racial slurs were, but they was the N word. It started with N, letter N. So they have been fired from the police force. And naturally, that's going to give you the thought like, well, America's trying. They're trying to get rid of these white racists out there. So, but the whole news article, 99% of it is a lie. The alleged victim or the alleged perpetrator has allegedly had been heard to say that this is the case. This fake news articles. Just fake. To make you feel like the United States is like trying to fight against racism. It ain't. You're either fighting against racism and ending it, or you're not. Putting these little 2% shows on the news and making you feel like, woo, good, there's somebody kicking his ass. But if you follow up, when you follow up, you don't find like it's nothing. When they come up and tell you the white cop got arrested because he said something derogatory toward black people, or he's a racist cop, or and follow up. You can't even find some of these cops. Then they don't use the name of the cop, so you don't know who it is or what. All you left with is a feeling like somebody's out there fighting for black people's, getting rid of these racist people, and that's bullshit. Hey, more, you can't follow the news. This is what I'm saying. The news is the problem. Your greatest enemy, black men, is the news. It's your greatest enemy because you're allowing it to educate you. You think it's going to be there to kind of give you a hint of what's going on in the United States. And you just you don't see that the white man knows that you're looking at it, and then he's not manipulating it. Look at this thing. You can go on Fox News. It's like they for one thing. You can go on KNBC and the other news. It's some are for Trump. CNN is against Trump. Obviously, these shows have been controlled. There was a show that came out the other day, just gave clear example of how the media is biased. Now, if some shit is biased, it means it's infected. If it's infected, do you drink it? Huh? Can you trust it? Turn that shit off completely. Look at your general situation and then use that. But listening to the news, like you just letting yourself relax at the end of the night, your brain is tired, your subconscious mind absorbs that shit and you falling asleep, right? Well, at least they're going after one white guy. That's good. Let me go to sleep now. But you see, you can't go for 100 years with the same stupid results unless that's the results that you're looking for. You can't have a civil rights movement and give blacks civil rights as if they had to be given civil rights in the first place when we built this country, and then turn around years later and say, well, America's still a racist country. Somebody lied to you. People are talking about, yeah, back in the day, Marcus Garvey, did I say late ABCD, Marcus Garvey, blah, blah, blah. Wait, they arrested Marcus Garvey, put the man in jail till he got sick, didn't want him to die in jail, then deported him from the United States. Hello. He died in obscurity in London. They chased him into Jamaica and took all his money and wealth from Jamaica while he was in Jamaica. There's only well-wishers in London that said, come on over here, I'll give you an apartment to stay in. Nobody was listening. No one would take care because they had agents following him around to make sure he never rose again to the power that he had in the United States. And he rose to power in the United States because at that time, when I don't know if it's the Renaissance or whatever, but in the 20s when Harlem was booming. That's why he didn't leave that area, because it was booming. It's the greatest concentration of blacks ever in the 1920s. Everybody had money, whites, blacks. So he could run around up and down Harlem and have parades and stuff like that. Can't do that today because economically, the white man came to realize that once we starve him out economically, that's it. That's what they did to Malcolm. How you gonna have Malcolm live all that, and then he living in a house that he don't given to him by the nation? He never thought of nothing about taking care of himself economically. Trump just always been against black people. Trump is just continuing the process. Yeah. Remember when the overthrow was done to take over the radio and TV stations? Propaganda is America's biggest tool to fool and confront the world. And until you turn it off completely, Chris Hamilton, until you turn it off completely, go a week without it. Just like every time you go up, don't watch it. They always got that music on. They got that music like, oh man, something happened. It draws your attention to the show. There's breaking news out of Atlanta. Fierce, raging storms, and 99% of that shit don't affect you. All across the Midwest, the snow, that's it. And so, if it's snowing outside, do I need this white man come on TV and tell me it's snowing outside? Surely. Can you go to a newsroom, please, people? Can you go and see how they develop these stories? They have been, since I think it's 2014 or 2012, somebody correct me. The news went to court and they said you can lie. They don't have to tell you the truth. So what's that? Responsible journalism? When you're supposed to get all the answers from both sides, that's gone out the window. Now you got bullshit gossip, and at the top tip of that bullshit gossip is people trying to destroy black men. Some of my greatest celebrities that just been off. Accused, I'm never gonna get over the Bill Cosby situation because I followed Bill Cosby all the way through. The same with the OJ situation. I'm telling you, you can just go outside. Just go find you a chicken or a goat. I know it's hard in America. Find a chicken, go take a knife and try to cut that goat's throat. It's not in everybody to do that. You got to be a special type of person. But you're gonna try to tell me that OJ Simpson can take a knife and cut the throat of his wife from ear to ear? That's ridiculous. So we go through all, the whole trial, and I'm going back far. I know some of you guys weren't even born when OJ, but I'm just saying the trial of the century. Surely, when you can get people like that to come out and throw gloves behind the back of your house, and then that just be put out in the courtroom, this is sad. What they're showing you on TV is not reality. What the government is doing, what the police departments are doing, they got to function. And they function ain't in our favor. Now here in Kenya, I don't even see policemen. I mean, I see them once in a while, but they ain't trying to target me. They ain't running around in a car like the Terminator, looking at everything you do. They not got no special radio equipment where they can call in and get your fingerprints from the facial recognition and find out how many warrants you got. Excuse me, sir. Can you come over here to the police car for a minute? What's the matter, officer? Is your name such and such and such? Yes, it is. Wow, I see here on my radio here that you got 15 warrants. You know, and then you're like, you know, and so what's that? Go find somebody else and do the same thing to them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of sophistication and recognition coming to America and national home security, all these things that were not there when I was in America. It's just ridiculous. Nobody does that. In Africa, it's nothing like that. You live your life unless I go outside and say, everybody, I'm a criminal. You know, even if I did that, nobody just look at me like I'm crazy. The police not gonna come. So it's like it's the whole. Go to the police station in a Kenyan country or African country. You see, it ain't all sophisticated. Policemen don't run around with radios and all kind of. That's because they have a mandate in those police stations. The U.S. police, they got a mandate to get you, and they got all kinds of sophisticated equipment that you don't see here. You see. So right there, you just like, you know, you can see the difference when you first get here. Like, damn, you know, the policemen ain't seriously thinking about me at all, unless they need a bribe. So, you know, I'm kind of ranting today, but yeah. So I'm just, you know, the whole thing of this thing is you got to get off of that multimedia stuff. And what Boyce Lydell is going to realize when he gets into Africa and go into Ghana is that the business side of it is not that big. And that's why I quickly wrote him a comment telling him, look, man, you need to go to you need to go to Kenya because it's the business hub. People going to Ghana and saying, okay, all Africa is like Ghana. Boo, you're making a big mistake, bro. Very big. You go into Accra and you walk around. Oh, okay, this is Africa. Wow. Oh, Accra got some nice buildings for like 6 of them. 6. Now you go to Kenya, go to Nairobi, holler if you hear me. And they got the tallest building in Africa in Nairobi. They got all the egg-shaped building now. Is, you know, they ain't joking because business is there. And I'm saying what black people go where there's business opportunities, don't go where it's not. And so this whole, even the media, when they start talking about go to Ghana or the year of return, what happens after the next year? After the year of return. And then when they go on 100 people, 100 black Americans get citizenship, and like most of them are from already live in Ghana, somebody's joking with somebody. These are just news stunts. So you see on the news, 100 people got citizenship in Ghana. Oh, now it's okay. Like they're gonna keep on doing it. This government, either the tour industry or they're just looking to get you there. Once you get there, they expect you to flip through hoops and come up with all kind of ideas to try to bring in revenue into Ghana. Because you go into Ghana and you see like there's nothing really to do, and you gotta go to your credit card to gotta get some Ghanaian money. And the Ghanaian money is weaker than the Kenyan shilling when it comes to the exchange rate. So you get more money from the Kenyan shilling side than you could from the Ghanaian, I don't know what they call the money. And it's less expensive to live in Kenya than it is in Ghana. So what's they telling you? They see you coming. That's why I'm saying I'm going to raise the prices because these black Americans is coming. And that's what they're doing. But Kenya is about business. They're not looking at black people like year of return. What be black people? What's that? You know? So when you go there, you're not going to get like, you know, they'd be shocked to see you. Not like if you go to Ghana on black American. Oh, another one. You know, what you do, where you from, what kind of work you do. And you walk around Accra because you ain't going nowhere else. Accra, they're asking, you know, is there a job for truck driver? Is there a job for electrician? And if it's no amount of infrastructure, then how many electric plugs can you make? But see, both thought that since they were liked by white men, they were in and you will never be in. Yeah, this is good information. Yeah, I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to wake you up. What is the special about Ghana? I don't understand. Exactly. Too many of us are being fooled by going to Ghana. You heard it from me. You heard it from me. At every turn, I have always been proven right. I'm now talking about myself. Huh? Nobody can deny that. If you go to my Black Man's Guide channel, it's 8 to 9 years old. 8 years, 9 years, something like that. Go down, scroll, you'll see like Amoni has been talking about Africa like this for years. Go to 2000, go to Amazon, Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa. Look at the date of the book. That's 2005. So don't tell me that what I'm telling you now, I didn't know back in the day. It's just that you guys didn't hear. Now here come YouTube, and it's just like a matter of faith. I go on the dining show, I do a few shows, and people start listening to what I'm saying. But I'm like, I've been saying this for years. So you over there in America, and you talking about I can't make it. And Africa is too far. I don't have a job. You didn't have a job when they brought your ass to America, but you survived. I'm stuck in child support and I have to get that out the way. You ain't gonna never get that out the way. That shit is in you. Hell, they got brothers now. What they gonna do if this child support is a racket? They're gonna continue to racket no matter what. They sitting down now already discussing on how once your kid is 18 years old, you think your child support is gonna stop. But what they're gonna come up with is what they're already doing is they're going to pull that kid, an 18-year-old kid, in the court and say, do you want to go to college? And the boy going to say, with the boss of his mom, and he say, yeah. And then they're going to send you a letter saying your child support is going to continue while your kid go to college. They're doing that. Just like I told you 10 years ago, I'm telling you now, watch and see. It's a racket. It's not supposed to let you stop paying. Now you're going to get mad, then you're going to buckle down and keep on paying. That's the first thing you need to know. It's a racket. And you're going to talk about, you're going to try to satisfy that racket by trying to finish all your obligations, and then they're going to let you go. But they're taking advantage from the very beginning. The prosecutor and the judge, well, however you go there and look at them, they're not talking to each other, but they in cahoots. And you the cash cow. So when you plop your ass in that courtroom and try to decide on how you're going to try to get some sort of money, not to pay, or get some visitation rights, and they just see you coming. Many of us got them letters in the mail telling them, the court telling you got to pay extra. Many of us have fallen behind on the child support payments, and then that's just like another deep, dark rabbit hole. You're never going to get out of that. That's what you got to get into your mind. Many of you guys are serial consumers. You got to buy the latest gadgets because you got to buy this and that. You got to have this and that because you're in America. And that's all America is just buy gadgets. I seen too many black guys running around dressed all nice, and they don't have no relationship with their children. You can't go to your kid and tell them, I don't want you to go to that school, I want you to go to this school. But you paying. It's a sad case. I just say that, and I don't know, because this channel is not monetized. That's why I can talk. But I'm saying you're taking that shit too seriously, like you're going to win. You ain't going to win. If you're paying at the court level, you ain't going to win. Their job victim just like you did. But I'm telling you that we need to get out of that idea that we can win in America. There is some sort of justice. It's nothing like that. Too many of us got, like, you finish one child support, you're old, tired, you have quarter of your check gone now, you done did all your obligations, you go to court like, I'm finished. And like, oh, Miss Johnson, we just found another lady that said you got her kid. What? It's like, and you put on your pants and show the judge, chopped off your penis. So that's impossible. They're like, no, we're gonna have another court date later down the line to determine if your DNA wasn't sucked out of you somehow. Sad. I'm just ranting today, but let me tell you, don't think like you're gonna really win in that thing of the situation of the child support. And I know that I'm getting a lot of from you guys saying that the child support thing is really what's causing you not to be able to come to Africa. Yeah. And I haven't really done an investigation into how you can get around that. And it's like, okay, the line's starting to stable. So you just got to rise above that. Okay. Oh, Iman had something good to say. Let me see what it was, if I can see. Plus, in the U.S., is the biggest commercial entity in the West, and even crimes and commercial thing, everything is business and profit here. Yeah, everything is business and profit, and you, as a black man, is like a property, and no country want to lose its property. You see, the problem with Europe is the people are dying, and but at the same time, like Italy is dying. The population, I think we had like one town they show one birth, 6 births in the whole year. So what? They got to bring in immigrants. They got to let them black guys on them little boats come into the country to try to generate revenue for the economy. Now, quiet as it's kept, America is the same issue. Whites think they so smart by doing gentrification, but they not having babies. So they're gonna have like they're gonna kick you out of your place. They're gonna sit there, but they ain't gonna have no children. So that place is gonna look nice, and you're gonna walk down the street like you do in most white neighborhoods. You walk down the street, you don't see nobody there on the streets. Because they're not having children at a faster rate than black people, but they're killing us off at a faster rate to try to keep us at the same level as them. Because if we have more children, then somebody gonna get overran, and they can't have that. They got a whole think tank somewhere, and they monitoring all of the childbirths, and they're saying, look, well, we got 1 million black men in prison, so that there ain't no children coming from them, and then we got another 1 million on drugs, so they ain't gonna be really having no children. And then we got 100,000, 200,000 on the in the justice, tied up in the justice system. They don't have no money, and so they can't really have children. And then that's how they mark you. That's how they mark us. So if anything I can say here is the situation in the United States is bullshit. And Boyce like they'll coming to Africa is letting you know that it ain't that all of that money, how he was talking about doing the stock market and all that shit ain't getting him nowhere. Today, Boyce Wakins, the more you see, his just shows are just about gossip. He ain't talking that dollar bill money, black business school thing, money, business, because ain't black people ain't got no money. You got to have money. Before you can start talking about financial education and financial knowledge, you got to have money first. Then you got to blow some of that money, realize you blew it, and then feel bad about it. That's when you're going to sit down and say, okay, let me sit down and see how I can handle the rest of my money. But they ain't got no money. So Boyce Boyce Wakins is just dreaming. Boyce promoter in sport karate, and I always get them confused. But Boyce Wakins, he's realizing that Dr. Claude Anderson, the same. I'm telling you, years ago, I was telling he ain't gonna never make it because he kept talking all kind of crap. Go watch them Dr. Claude Anderson videos when he goes down the line to make his case on why black people should do all of these things. But at the end of the day, he goes in and talks about Africa negatively, like Africa got all kind of problems. You ain't been there to know what kind of problems they have. Everywhere, where there are no problems. You see? But come July 2020, if Dr. Boyce Wakins don't realize it, when they drop that these trading barriers, you're going to see wonders. And I'm banking on that happening. There's a way to defeat child support. Check out Amon Oasis. All right, okay. This thing about the defeat child support, people have been trying that thing. But at the end of the day, when I tell you this clear point, it's a system, it's a racket. Then I tell you this other clear point. The judge and the prosecutor are behind closed doors in cahoots with each other. So it's about justice. It's about taking the money out your ass to any which way they can possibly figure it out. Don't you know the federal government subsidizes states to put people on child support? And you can't borrow the government and Yvette Cardell, whatever her name is, talking about the government is just a multinational thing of group of people. That thing is designed to make us suffer. They gonna put a little few white people there, but at the end of the day, it's all about affecting the majority of black people. I used to go to traffic court in Los Angeles, and I realize now that when I was, why is everybody black in this place and not no white people, and we're supposed to be a minority? It's a racket. Chris Hamilton, because they were being colonized, brother, no power to help being colonized is just as bad as slavery. Colonization is worse than being slave, because you like a fool, you guys get whooped up in your own land. But you have to remember that the African kicked the white man out of his country, and we still enslaved in the United States. So you can never compare what the African kicked him out. Now, you know, I didn't read that. Where did that come from? Europe is out of Africa now. Okay. So you ain't gonna get the white man. Let the white man make a documentary of it. Then you see. And these documentaries are no good either. I'm watching a documentary on China. I forgot the name of the people, but it was an expensive documentary. They had all of the proper, the white guy talking. He had the right pictures. They was like, then they go into China. And then in the middle of the documentary, here they go. Kenya wrote an agreement with China that the Chinese can take over their port if they default on the loan. And I was like, God damn, this is expensive ass documentary, and then they're gonna put that bold ass, silly ass lie in the middle of the documentary that the Kenyan government said. And the Chinese, what kills me is that I have done simple research show the Chinese have even come out and said, we ain't taking over no port. We ain't interested in taking over the port. But the documentary just skip all that, and they got you thinking like they got a unbiased view. And then they go ahead and put that in the middle of the documentary. So I can understand why you people keep on coming out here asking me about did they going to take over the port. Despite that the government has said they're ahead of their payments, despite the fact that the Chinese said we ain't interested in taking over no ports. I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you again, this is the white man propaganda is at the root of all this nonsense. Keep you hating the Chinese. The Chinese are your friend. I'm going to do a show on this. Chinese are your friend, not your enemy. Go look at the 1999. No, what was it? The Economist magazine, Africa, the dark continent, the hopeless continent. And then what had changed in 2000 after they wrote that article? What changed? The next year, less than a year later, the Chinese did an agreement with Africa to invest in it. So at the root of Africa's rising today is China, a superpower. A superpower that the people in China in one city can go to online and spend $6 billion like it's nothing. And then you're going to try to tell me that the Chinese going to take their time to take over a whole port because of $6 billion? That's pocket change to China. So even if the Kenya defaulted on the loan, it ain't like the Kenya, like they looking for money. You just restructure the debt. Damn, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you that. China ain't no idiot. They seen it was the IMF and the World Bank that was doing that. But you don't see that because they're not putting that on the news. What they put on the news is that China is bad. Meanwhile, they building half of America is owned by China. It wasn't that bad when you needed them to buy them U.S. bonds. Was they bad then? No. Your country, and there's some idiots out there, white idiots, that they just type on their keyboard bullshit propaganda and laugh when they press the enter button and send that shit out, and you suck it up like a fool. I'm going to stay in the U.S. because, damn, look at it happening in Africa. You see? I know you feel good because you know it's a stressful thing to move to Africa. So if you can find any little reason why you shouldn't move to Africa, you're going to jump on it. And the white man knows this. And so there he is putting out the propaganda that he know you're going to read that's going to make you hesitate from making that trip. And then the rest of you guys are saying, I'm going to wait till I finish off my debt. Man, who finished their debt in America? Really? As soon as you finish off a credit card, you're going to get a credit card in the mail, the gold standard high platinum one, 50,000 limit. And you're going to hold that card in your hand and you're going to see all the things. You can buy a new car, you can buy a new, it's a material world. So that shit ain't satisfying. And if you got a woman in the United States, oh no, I'm going deep, sorry, and you ain't getting along with her, if you got a man in the United States and he ain't acting right, it's time to it's time to hit the reset button, refresh. But don't refresh in America where you had the problem in the first place. Now refresh and come to Africa. Don't tell me I'm worried about I won't have no money. Just do it. You're a Black American. You ain't nobody suffered more than you. You know how it is to be done like that. So I'm saying some of you people are joking. And if you over 65 and you got halfway decent health, you're a fool. You should be here a long time ago. Take advantage of the exchange rate. You guys are joking. One thing I can't understand is I walk around in the U.S. I go somewhere and I got a 65-year-old man. He walking around, got his faculties, and he's living in some slum retirement home, dirty ass thing with a bunch of people in the living room, all old, dying. You can't even talk to each other because no sense making friends with somebody you ain't gonna be here next week. When he can get his happy ass on a fucking flight and come into Kenya and live like a king in fresh, clean weather and last days, see the beach, and have more money than he ever had before in his life. So some of you young 32-year-olds, 30, 40, 28, you got your parents out there living that silliness. Get them out of that. Sit down with them, explain to them. Say, let's just go on a trip, Dad. Take this last paycheck money and let's just fly over to Kenya and see. I'm going to just take you there. And when you come here, you're going to find he can be okay. Far better than how they take care of us in the United States. Because the end result, you got to be there too. You're going to come to that day when you're 60 years old. And you're going to wish somebody would do you the way you could do your parents. Now, some of it's a long stretch, but you got to start talking to them now. It may take a year, 2, 3 years. But if Boyce Wakins can go to Africa, shit, who can't go? Who can't change their mind? At least you can be doing something constructive instead of watching them goddamn media news telling you nonsense. You can be spending that time with your elder parents and getting them out here. This is something that we can also look into. How can I invest in transportation in Kenya coastal area? More fortunate. Yes, transportation is always the best bet. I see too many of them out there. It's amazing. You need to just come here and look at the transportation system. In the morning time, these conductors, they grabbing people. They don't have to do it. They just get out there and people are meanie. So the conductor is just like, he don't even talk. He just open the door of the band, it fills it up. He goes his way. He don't even talk. Come around 10 o'clock in the morning when there's very few people, he's like, hey, baby, come sit. Let me carry you. Let me take you to town. He's walking around, grabbing people that's walking on the street. Oh, do you want to go to town? Do you want to go to town? He's hustling. But it's a sight to see. And if somebody had money that can do a production, I got a movie idea that'd be fantastic. We need to do that. All of a sudden, Boyce wants to go to Africa. It's so funny, isn't it? It's weird. I can't wait to see what he's gonna say. He's gonna either come out really negative, or he's gonna make another trip to Africa. Because you don't make two, you make one. You talk shit, then you don't go back. That's the whole thing. I've been to Africa. That's what he's gonna be able to say. It might be one of them trips where okay, I have been to Africa. So now he can do shows on how bad it is in Ghana and what the problems are in Africa. I have been there. You know, you ain't been there. You go there a week. That ain't been in Africa. Let me tell you, some of you guys coming here talking about I spent 2 weeks in Africa, and you ain't been. That's nothing. That's nothing. I've been here 21 years. I'm telling you, that ain't nothing. Come here for 2 weeks or a month, you ain't seen nothing. You don't know the real Africa. You living in a hotel the whole time. You surely have not seen the real Africa. You just seen the tourist section. So I talked to that brother that called that was on the Tiger show. He called me. I called him. He called me, then I called him. And we had a good conversation, and I was like, we both alike, brother. You know, he said he's gonna come back in July, 2020, and we're gonna hook up. You know, I'm just looking for brothers that's like that. You know what I mean? I can't work with you if you got like all kind of credit issues that you can't even buy a plane ticket or you can't even get your passport. You know, because you owe too much child support. It's a racket. So once you understand it's a racket, then you got to figure out how to get around it. And I can't come on anybody's show and give advice on how you should deal with your child support. But I'm telling you, it's a racket. Don't think you're gonna survive it and overcome it, because they can just come right back again. And I'm telling you, when they come back with that letter telling you still gotta pay, you got a back balance or some shit like that, then you just like, you know, you ain't gonna make a YouTube video. I've been got more child support than I thought. I was fooled. You know, you ain't gonna do that. You're gonna let the next brother do the same thing, thinking he's reaching that end, and that's it. I'm telling you, that's the case. Emmanuel Mills, right? You don't get the lay of the land. Yeah, you can't get the lay of the land by doing that. And oh, by the way, what's that? Oh, wait a minute. Jeremy Disha. I don't know if that's Jeremy Disha has supported the channel, and I haven't even brought out the paper. I haven't even brought the paper out. This is the new one. I gotta hold it still. For supporting the channel. I'm just talking, and somebody has already African super chatted us. So yeah, support the channel. And just because Jeremy said that, I'm going to talk about myself, because some of you guys are getting really close to me, and I love making contact with you, and we talk offline a lot. We on Facebook, and I appreciate that. Our channel is not big like Chris Hamilton. Our channel is not big, so I can sit up here and we can talk directly. It's not like if you was on the Phil Scott show and you're looking at like 50,000 comments, and you can't do that. Now, if you go to my channel, some of you guys know I try to answer every question, every comment question that you send me. I'm there. So while the channel is still small, support the channel, because you're gonna have a question one day, and you're gonna want the real information. And this is the case. Just put in that fight. I know it's Christmas time, but it's not that big. It's not the amount. It's the fact that you supported the channel. Like Ashley, I appreciate that. Doron Tate is one of our greatest supporters. You guys don't know. I might not even be here today if it wasn't for him supporting the channel on a regular basis. And that's what we need. We need that, because this monetizing of the channel, I'm telling you, when a person monetizes his channel and then he start giving you information, he can't talk his free mind. You know, he can lose that 100,000, 200,000 Kenya shillings every month because they demonetize his channel because it's something he said. You're joking. I don't have that problem. So that's why I'm saying I don't have no hindrance. That's why we're doing it like this. You know what I mean? The fact that I know how I've been dealing with America for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I've been dealing with America for a long time. So some of my things might seem like orthodox or kind of shady, but I'm telling you, this is the way to go. This Patreon and all that, they're going to bite you in the ass at the end of the day when it comes down to dealing with taxes. And the person that the content provider that's giving you information, he ain't going to share that information that, I got my tax returns, and then The IRS sent me a letter that I got to pay taxes on all the money I got from Patreon. Damn. But anyway, white people are the majority. That's food stamps. Yeah, whites are the majority. We heard that shit for 25 years. And the fact of the matter is, blacks also use food stamps. When you go to there's no more black community, but when those days, black community, you see a lot of people that are using the food stamps. It just makes you not productive. And they like that too. Here we were the most productive people, having our own businesses and having our own, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, we had our own taxi cab. He almost starts crying when he says that, about the buses that they had. They all went away because people wanted to go patronize white people's business. They just screw us every which way. They got all these think tanks that they can use to just decide our next move. But the move that they can't get past is the one where you say, I'm at the airport and I'm leaving this mother sucker. I'm leaving this mother sucker right now. I'm telling you, go to the airport. Hey, throw that over your shoulder. Get on the plane. You're going to feel like a whole new man. You're going to feel like, I don't even care if I don't have no place to live. I don't even care if I don't have no money. I'm going to get there somewhere. I'm going to find something to eat. And guess what? You're going to be thoroughly surprised that you're going to land on your feet. There's always going to be food to eat. And there's always going to be shelter for you. And as long as you got a productive mind at 35, 45, and you got a hustling mind in your mind, you'll find work. Now you'll start off small, because Africa is no different than any other place. You can't just walk into the country, a country, and is that Brian? Brian, golly, thank you. I don't know if you're online or not, man. I don't know your name on thingy. Brian Gray supported the channel. You see how easy that is with World Remit? I can thank you there. So Brian, Jermaine, Ashley Lauren, Duran Tate. There's another one. Omar Smith the other day. Thank you. I'm going backwards. And Bridget Buckner, appreciate the support of the channel for the last 3 days. Just simple like that. Just something like that makes me, you see how I'm excited now, because, I know if you cut all the crap, when you guys say, I'm going to throw some money to the brother, that lets me know that this thing is worth it. And so, Mustafa Muslim man, assalamu alaikum. I'm doing good. I'm a lot better now. I hope I'm gonna be okay when I take this trip to Nairobi today, and we're gonna do some shows on there. Like I told you in the last video, my daughter is going for the first time. She's so excited, and I hope I can capture a bit of that on video. So I said I was gonna talk about myself. So anyway, yeah. So I had these relationships with women, and they failed, Now, me personally, I believe it's not my fault, because after your first one fails, on the second one, you're trying to see, like, okay, let me see if it's me or if it's the other person. So you're trying to do on your best behavior, But at the same time, you've been hurt from the first relationship, so you look into watch closely as the relationship goes up or down. Black labor, white wealth. Yeah, so the channel is messing up a bit. But you come to realize that, okay, on my particular side, because some of you guys are no good. I mean, some of us are no good, but I honestly believe that I'm a good man. I became black conscious, and I wouldn't sit up and become black conscious and then go run around. And I was an athlete, so I wasn't having different women. Any woman that was with me can tell you he was home every night. And maybe that's boring, but that was the case. So when the relationship failed, you lost. You're trying to figure it out. Understand why, and why did the woman change, or why did how did the other woman come into my life and derail me? And that's what basically the case is, because America is a seedy, sour ass place. People don't have no morals and no scruples. You don't have no customs. You don't have no, you ain't beholden to your elders or your parents. it just it lets you go out and make all these mistakes. Because I was up to a lot of them are just mistakes, because not educated the way these things are. And then you don't find any information on TV to really help you unless you go to a psychiatrist or counselor. And who does that? The whole thing is just business. They want to take as much money out of you as they can. You're walking in a minefield trying not to trip over mines. So instead of out there not even dealing with women, black women, because you've been hurt so badly, or you think you've been hurt badly, but it's telling you the system is just designed like that. So if you're 35 and 40, I'm telling you, you can start again. I was 51 when I found this woman, and we have 3 kids. And because I have good health, because you got to stay in good health, that's for sure, I can be there for my kids. I can go run around with them. I can take them places. I don't have to feel tired. Okay, sometimes I do feel a little tired, but I mean, I look back and see that their life is being affected because they got both parents. And since I've been through all of this tragedy, I look at my daughters and I'd be like, are you okay? You having a good time? Who do you love more, mommy or daddy? Then they looking like, what? Oh, how? Because, and then I came to realize something else, that this day life, you look at their life and then you can realize your life. When I was 6 and 7, I had my own ideas. And I know my parents was my mom was taking care of me. I was raised by a single parent. So my mom was taking care of me, but I was like, that's her job. And I gotta do my thing, and she gotta take care of me up until a certain point, But at the end of the day, it was me. So I look at my daughters and I'm like, as they grow, they less dependent on me. They expect to do the things I do. They expect the mom to do the things they do, but they had their own personality. And I'm sitting there watching them and I'm like, I can see their whole personalities coming out. They can't hide it from me. So I came to realize that everybody's their own individual, but you got a role to play in your children's lives. But at the end of the day, it's their life. At the end of the day, it's their life. Now, when it comes to business, my son, he's 18. He comes to me and he says, Dad, I want to learn from you because I see you doing business and everything. I'm like, okay, good. You can come work with me. I'll pay you. You work. I'm going to teach you and we train you. And, knock on wood, that's working out well. My son is a good boy. He comes to work. He tries. He messes up. How teenagers are, but, I'm old enough to understand that. Eva is up, but I can't let you see her looking at that condition. I keep saying I'm gonna do a show with Eva, but I mean, like every day it's either her hair's not right, or she's too tired, or she's in a mood. Anyway, she's sitting there. How much is gas or a new car or truck over there? Should I bring mine or get one there? My 2 cents, just come with your underwear and 1 trouser and a shirt, 1 pair of shoes. Everything you need is here. Cars are right-hand drive. What is it? They're the opposite of what's in the U.S. here. So you can't bring your car here. You look like a fool driving in the passenger seat. Yeah, just come with a little money. You're going to find all kind of investment. I'm telling you, if you come with the right survival mindset, don't come with a lot of money. Come with little money, you'll survive. You'll be surprised how your brain is going to come up with all kind of ideas. When I came to Kenya, I'm telling you, there was a time when I didn't have money. It's like, oh man, if I don't, tomorrow, it's the end day, I only have so much shillings in my pocket. But then it's amazing how something comes up and you start making money. Okay, now I see that woman is telling me. So yeah, I know I'm ranting. So you guys don't. I'm going back and forth, and then I'm watching the chat at the same. Omar, how are you, sir? I got the money, brother. Thank you. That was great support, and I'm waiting to see Bridget in the chat line. She's not been showing herself. And once again, Doran Tate, that guy, you guys don't know. He's the one who's supporting you. You guys are supporting. That guy's got the same support times all you guys together is like the support he gives is great. And we need that because we want to do action on this channel also. Jerry Springer show is still on the air. How can media co-sign on some bullshit like that? Not unless there's an agent behind it. Yeah, and an audience. You have to realize that the majority of white people need to validate themselves based on how poor blacks do. And we are a fantastic people. They got to put tanks together to push us into down so that we don't rise up. You know? So that's what they're doing. Money for breakfast. Fine. Can I do my show and then yeah, money for breakfast. You see, it's everywhere you go. No matter where you are, women gonna get the money from you. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, I lost my thought. But how much I did that already. Okay, Jerry Singer show, yeah. That's what white people are gonna do. The majority of them need to validate themselves because of like that. If you remember Bull Connor, I don't know if it was Bull Connor or that Southern cracker guy that was governor of, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Yeah, so they asked him. They interviewed him some years later, and they asked him what is his whole thoughts on the whole black era, civil rights era, and he was like, I went through all the campaigns through all the country. And all I saw from white people was that they didn't care if they didn't have enough food. They didn't care if they had shelter. All they wanted to know was they better than black people? Now, how did they get like that? It's the media. They laughing at us. Black people. They laugh at us on the news when they tell you two black people killed each other. Don't you know a lot of white people just look at that shit and shake their head like, damn, these guys. Yeah. But the only thing that can stop that, you can march. And then 3 or 4 of you get killed in the march. That's the white people's laughing at you. You see? You can go riot. You can do all of that. Somebody gets shot and death. They laughing at you. They ain't gonna laugh in your face. They know better than that. We ain't that stupid. And they might call us nigger all in the back of their mind or in the back room somewhere. But they ain't foolish enough to get up in our face and do that. But if our numbers keep dwindling in America, they'll be saying it left and right. And your children have to hear that. Because you decided to give birth to children in the United States. But if all that laughing, all that hidden laughing that they're doing, all that go out the window when you tell them I got a plane ticket to go back to Africa. Or to go to Africa. Go to live in modern Africa. You think that the whites are not seeing the fact that we're leaving? You start to watch the TV shows, they're going to come on TV talking about that. And each and every time a black person comes over here and sees the reality of the situation and goes back and reports positively, the jig is up. You see? The whole game is going to fall apart. If our numbers can dwindle like that, and I wonder, somebody help me. Can a person that got a felony on his record get a passport in America? Can a person that got a felony on his record get a passport? Because some of these guys got these non-violent felony things on their record and they feel like they can't get a passport. And that's one thing that's stopping them. If you've been put in prison or you got probation, felony probation, that you got to really work that out in court. And that should be your life mission. And just go there and tell them I want to leave America and I want to go on a vacation in Africa. And how is that possible? And then they tell you it's not possible. So then you come to realize, you mean I can't leave America? I mean, if I can't you're not gonna give me a passport, so I can't the land of the free? I can't leave. Then you come to realize the reality. AB X-Wing, what are your thoughts on their disproportionate leaving the U.S. and applying for asylum in Africa? Applying for asylum in Africa, you could win because there's too much information, too much information showing that America is against us. How can you lose? And I'm just talking from a layman's point of view. But if I sat down with a lawyer, because I went to college for criminal justice, and I did a lot of reading on the law. It's no way you can build a very strong case against America's oppressing you. But they got that shit down because they're gonna tell you we not like that. But they got their think tank saying, what if there's a black guy in Africa that say he want to go for asylum? They're gonna tell you a citizen of America anyway. So that's why when you start talking about that asylum, which is something that's pretty good, you can you have to be careful when you talk about dual citizenship. You can't be applying for dual citizenship when you're thinking about not being in America completely. So right now, modern Africa has been able to support us barely. And I have to be honest. And right now, we don't really have that direction because we're still coming in, this way, that way, this way, that way. But if we can get a solid group to come and put a foundation in place, there's nothing you can do. They ain't gonna come. Nobody gonna run into your, like we were talking about building the camp. Nobody gonna run into the camp, snatch you out the camp. That's for damn sure. And some of us need that kind of asylum, that type of security when we come here, because you just don't want to leave. You can't even imagine going back to the United States. You know what I'm saying? So that's a show for another day. When you guys support the channel, we can get into that. And make sure you bring it up again. My 2 cents. Okay. I will go ask the travel sister. That's my girl. Bye. Okay, see you, man. What are your thoughts on what Gabriel Union said about the racism she experienced with NBC? I guess they fired her for spreading it out. Okay, Antonio Perte. We're not into gossip. We're into Africa. So those things that's in America, how can it really help us? You know what I mean? If we start talking about the celebrities who we ain't gonna never meet, and we ain't gonna never have sex with them, or they ain't gonna never drive. They ain't gonna drive us in their car. You see, that's the trick of America. That's the wasted information that's gonna make us. And I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to everybody that's there. Gotta watch out for that. Gotta watch out for that. Don't waste our time. The objective of this channel is to discuss about making the trip to Africa. Many of you can't make the trip today, but in the long run, you'll be able to make the trip if you start practicing now. Support the channel, and we're gonna keep on going. And some of you are already been here, and some of you are coming soon, and we're gonna start interviewing them people and then discussing it. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve in this channel. So next time some of you guys are making that trip, come see me in Kenya, and we sit down and we chop it up on what's the way forward if we're going to continue this group. Okay, boy, not getting my yeah. So that's what I want to say. I want to thank you guys for. We've got this. We've got this channel. And we've got a website. And what I want to do with the website is create a database link where you can come in and put your information, details about what you do for a living, what skills you have, so we can start to build a database or on information from guys, and then we can connect guys with other guys. So this is one of the things that we can do with this website. Tell me what you think about that in the comment section, and we're going to continue this show and with the comments. So once again, I want to say that the Black People for ModernAfrica.com website, we can create an application area where you go in and you put in your name. Some serious issues with identification. But the main thing is that, you know, you have a name to identify you, maybe a contact number, and then information on what type of skills you have as a Black person. Because I believe we have a lot of skills that are out there, and we're not coming together. So with this database, maybe we can start to see if we can have some serious people out there that want to come together and put out their skills. I'm gonna put my skills out there, which are many, and then you guys can follow through. You might be surprised. You might have only one skill or two skills, but that'd be the skill somebody needs. And those people that want to do business in Kenya, and you just need some manpower that you can trust, you get a Black American that could come in and be a foreman or something like that. Every other people do that. You don't see Indians having no Chinese person doing their thing. They got Indians taking care of Indians. You go to a shop for Indians, and everybody behind the counter is Indian. So it's the same thing with us when we come here to Africa. We need to support each other and, help out the less fortunate. And if we can do that, then we can do it. We can do it. Huh? Now, Eva, she's still sleeping. And she's saying anybody that want a wife or a husband. That's automatic. That's a natural thing when they come here. Yeah. So, I want to thank you guys again for another show. I didn't really want to be on over an hour, but I just want to come on and talk about Boyce Wakins going to Ghana. Let's see what happens. And I'm trying to explain to you that the end game is only Africa. Now, what did I always tell you? Africa is the only solution. It ain't a matter of where you can go talk all that stuff in the U.S. all you want. Dr. Claude Anderson, he failed. Omar Johnson, he failed. Takrik, he gonna have to make another hidden colors video to make money, because whatever discussion he make is gonna end up failing. Because if you don't have Africa in your situation, then it's not gonna happen. That's why I say, in the words of Dr. Barbara Sizemore, may she rest in peace, you cannot teach anything, my friend, in this world that don't have an African presence. And today, modern Africa is making back the connection of what it needs to become. Just like what China has done, Africa is going to do. And you see that they was laughing at China in the 70s, and look at them today. They ain't laughing no more. And it's the same with us in Africa. So till we meet again, next show should be in Nairobi. I want to thank you guys for your support, and comments in the comment section are always welcome. Peace.